Hey, you! You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed because you're an untouchable success. To support us and gain access to great exclusive shows like our brand new Supernatural watch-along Himboos, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You'll also get your lucky little mitts on hundreds of episodes of our other exclusive shows like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys, and the complete series of Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We do movie nights, game streaming, regular mini-series and surprise shows, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want, within reason. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain by heading to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed. Probably don't need help with that word.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
I had a child's dream last night.
How do you mean? Do you mean it was a dream about a child? Do you mean it was a dream you would have had as a child? Oh, okay. Did you steal a child's dream?
I'll tell you the dream.
Like you invaded a child, the dream
like
of a
Freddy
child
Krueger?
And stole it for yourself?
I had a dream that my neighbor had 10 puppies and 10 kittens, and I was really excited about that.
That's some one fish, two fish shit. Yeah, that's literally a page in that book. I've memorized most of that book.
Yeah. It was a great dream.
It sounds like an awesome dream.
It was like the least gritty dream I've ever had. It was like the opposite of like a dream that you'd expect an adult to have.
Let me tell you my dream. I dreamed we had an extra jar of peanut butter. That's what I dreamed. That was my dream this week.
Tom, you have my dreams because I get asked in interviews as a horror author, like, well, what do you have nightmares about? What scares you? It's like my dreams are like during the day, in real life during the day, I was trying to find a charging cable for my phone and then finally found it in a drawer. And that night I will have a vivid dream that it wasn't in the drawer, that I in fact found it in my bedroom on the nightstand. And there's not like, and then a monster attacked. That's the whole dream. It's something that happened during the day, only different in a way that's less interesting than the real thing that happened. It's all very often much more, and it's the most stressful nightmares I have is just where I'm trying to like find an address and I'm driving around and I can't find it, and so it's not clear. But that living in a city, that happens all the time.
It's the kind of dreams where you wake up and you go like, really? That was what I could come up with? Like that was the best I had in there?
It feels like wasting an afternoon, like wasting a week. It's like, oh man, this is, who do I speak to get my money back for this dream?
Yeah.
I would have dreams like that would just seem like my brain deliberately trying to sabotage me, kind of like the way you're describing. Like I would dream that I saw a friend of mine in traffic, just for no other reason but for me to bring it up to that friend the next day and for him to be like, what the hell are you talking about? That did not happen.
So just... So just nothing's happening in your life also is what you're trying to tell me. You've got nothing going on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're on the episode of Hypecast.
Hypecast.
Show we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
And I am guest, Jason Pargin.
Jason,
hey,
welcome back.
Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I'm excited for a good 2-hour episode with you.
It's always a pleasure, but also, unfortunately, we have to kick this off with kind of I don't know, if not a correction, then a retraction, something. The last time I was on here, I believe we had the trailer for Eli Roth's Ice Cream Man. This would have been back in, I think, April. And I think at the time, all three of us said, this looks like the film of the year.
It's true. It's true.
I am
This is gonna
buying
blow
my ticket
Odyssey out of the water.
right now. I don't want to hear anything about that Christopher Nolan crap. This is the film that the only reason I'm going to stay alive the rest of the year is to watch this film. Came out, the reception is not great so far.
Not what I was expecting. No, definitely not.
It's no One Night Only, which is out now. Have you seen the trailer for One Night Only?
The sex purge. You can only have sex one night out of the year.
I need to watch that. I read there's an interview with the writer, and it seemed like he was a little angry about mask mandates, and that's what it's sort of about. I don't know for sure. I don't want to slander the guy because I don't know what was in his heart making One Night Only, but it's definitely one where I need
a little bit of what was in his heart, and that's boners.
Yeah. I need to know why this movie happened, and that requires seeing the movie.
If I was an executive and they came in and pitched that to me, I think I would probably greenlight it.
Apparently, I heard it was like a blacklist hit.
It's a very funny idea. That's something you took the meeting on that. You'd be telling people the rest of the day. It's an idea. It's the purge. Only instead of crime, it's the one night you're allowed to have sex outside of marriage.
Right.
And it's about these people all scrambling to try to hook up before the deadline. And I feel like I can kind of predict how the film ends, having not seen it, but I don't want to spoil it. But I feel like I can pretty much tell you how it's going to go and what lesson they're going to learn.
I didn't realize that it was literally about that. I thought they were being cute about Valentine's Day.
That's the thing about the trailer. You watch the trailer, and at first you think they're talking about Valentine's Day. They're like, the one night we get to, but as you keep watching, you're like, wait, are they literally talking about one night? And it buries the fact that it's a dystopian world in the movie. That's not the point of the movie. The interview I read, the person interviewing them only wanted to talk about that and was like,
that's
so what
kind of the only
did the
thing
Supreme
I wanted,
Court get involved?
That's kind of all I want to talk about now. What the hell?
Right, it seemed like the writer did not have answers for that, and it's very funny that maybe they didn't quite think about that part. But that's the only thing the movie should be about, right? It should be like the Hunger Games. Because there should be a revolution.
Everybody has a sensor implanted in them. And
is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a sensor that detects when the hormones or whatever, the sex hormones are going. And if it turns red, it triggers the sex police to come and arrest you, which, again, the other 364 days of the year, that makes it sound like that wouldn't just make it hotter. The idea that we've got to get off before the cops can get up to this floor of the building. We've got, and we're watching the sensors turn red, and
that's a Sharon Stone movie from the 90s.
That sense of danger is now hanging over every sexual interaction, and gosh, it would just that would cure the fertility crisis because people would just be horned up all the time. Every time you saw the sex police wandering the streets, you'd be like,
oh yeah. Somebody's fucking around here. Don't.
And the way you build it to all your friends would find out you got arrested by the sex cops because you had sex. They're oh yeah, they're saying it's felony level. They're saying they gave him 2 charges. That means he had 2 chicks in there.
Man, you know
what?
People
would be competing for. Just high-fiving you in sex prison, just in there with all these horny dudes just exchanging stories about what you were doing when you got busted.
The only thing longer than my sex prison rap sheet.
Yeah, I had a thing where we just film ourselves getting arrested over and over again. I made $4 million a day from people just jerking off to me, get our orgy getting busted.
Oh man, one night only.
Do you have to pull over and jerk off? If your thing goes off on one, how does that work?
These are all questions that are surely explored in the film. I've not seen a film that I had not heard of until it was suddenly in theaters. Nobody had told me about it. It just appeared. They ambushed us with it.
I'm still not sure I believe this is really what this movie is about.
It's wild. It's the marketing's ashamed of it, but it's like you said, Jason, I can see why someone would go oh yeah, let's fucking make this. People are going to talk about it. And it's like, then lean into it. Like, everybody's going to go see Sex Purge if you called it Sex Purge.
Sex Purge.
It seems uninterested in its own dystopian
Gotta pull
world,
over
though.
into the wanking lane.
Yeah.
Look for it when an ambulance goes by.
Anyway, that and Ice Cream Man.
Then the Ice Cream Man, loaded with AI.
Yeah.
Eli Roth,
Yeah,
man.
teaming with AI. Okay, hold on. We got to thank some producers. That's what we have to do.
Yeah, sure.
I
let's do
completely
it.
forgot what this podcast was for a second. Big thank you to @NerdNumber says check out MikeSlater.com for amazing Babylon 5 takes. Thank you. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you.
Thank you to 2001 A Space McNulty Odyssey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to A Secret Thing You Know Nothing About.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Andrew How Presents. Andrew and Andrew watch Twin Peaks.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew McGuire. Likes how Tom says Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Thank you to As Long As I Got My Suit and Kai.
Thank you so much. All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you to be sure to pre-order Jason Pargin's highly controversial new novel, There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel, a novel of giant crabs.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you to BLT22 EWHVIS-B. Shoot.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler is looking forward to season 3 of Himboos.
Yes.
Us too. Thank you to Braxton is busting loose and writing a big old nerd book. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Thank you to Brockway loves the meat millie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Burrito, the skankiest sled in town.
Thank you.
And thank you to Jeff. Check out Jeff has cool cards on the YouTubes for stellar pack breaks and sweet minute rips.
Thank you.
He did some with his mom this week.
Yeah, he
opened
did.
cards with his mom.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, was I supposed to have plugged my book earlier?
You
Did I-
can.
Oh, right.
Right, we blasted
Jesus.
right
That is
through
the-
plugs. Holy cow. The only reason you do this.
Yeah, that and the $5,000 appearance fee that I get paid every time I'm on the
Yes.
show. But no, it's okay. Okay, specifically because, and I know that you guys read out the title every time you do the producer nods. There are some super fans listening to this, a few of them. If you want a signed copy of the new book, there's an extremely easy way to get one. And this, to be clear, this is book 5 in the John Dies at the End series. The title is There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel, a novel of giant crabs. We sell signed hardcovers. It's pre-order only. And they sell them through, it's a local bookstore here in Nashville. You do not have to come here. No one would do that. They will ship it exactly the same as if you bought it off Amazon. They will ship it right to your house no matter where you live. I think even if you're in another country. To get one, listen carefully. The buy link is at bit.ly/signmycrab. All lowercase, bit.ly/signmycrab. And that will take you to a bookstore called Parnassus Books. It is the bookstore, an indie bookstore here in Nashville. So far, you have pre-ordered 2,000 of these that I have to go in and sign in November. But on release, you will get them. After November, you cannot get one, period, except for the fact that a lot of these people buying them are resellers who will immediately put them on eBay for $500. We charge nothing extra for this. If you want a signed hardcover, it costs exactly as much as an unsigned hardcover, but you do have to order in advance. You have to do it now. If you wait, it won't happen. Thank you.
It costs time. You have to do time. It's time. You get it for the same amount. You just have to do something time related.
Sure.
Did I make that more confusing or less?
I think you made it more confusing. Are you talking about
All right.
like in the film In Time, where time is
Yeah.
currency?
I should be your publicist. Do they get mad that you don't say like a John Dies at the End adventure like title, like, because that's got to be like for the promotion they must like want to stick that on there, right?
No, and in fact, it's the opposite. You're scared of making people think that you have to have read all the other books to read this one. And this is not a serial. This is not like a fantasy series where book 4 ended on a cliffhanger. These are episodic. You, in theory, could read them in any order, aside from the fact that very obviously one was written by like a 25-year-old man and the other was written by a 50-year-old man, and they're not the same person. But they are wholly independent stories, so they always want to open them up to somebody who will just see that funny title. And then in theory, I mean, to be clear, these books are extremely confusing. And you're not going to know what's going on, but reading all of the previous books would not have helped you with that. That's part of the joy of this universe, is that the protagonists have no idea what's going on at any given moment, and so you, the reader, are always sharing their confusion a little bit.
Everybody, check that out. Check it out, and check
Get your
out One
crab
Night
signed.
Only.
Yeah, and One Night
Are you going to
Only.
do like? You should work a One Night Only situation into the next one. All I want to talk about is One Night Only.
Yeah,
now.
kind of. We should just do
all right,
a
we
whole
have-
separate show about that.
Yeah. We might have to cover
I
it.
can't believe that's what that movie's about. I'm
it's
not
great.
sure I trust you yet.
Go watch the trailer. Go read the interviews. It's real. All right, let's talk about first trailer. Primetime. Primetime. We covered the teaser of this a while ago. This is Bob Pattinson playing
Bob Pattinson.
Chris Hansen. It's
He's a
it's
senator from Delaware.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the
this
To Catch a
is-
Predator thing.
This is the
And
Chris
it
Hansen
appears from this trailer he's almost doing it like a Nightcrawler, where he's really portraying Chris Hansen as kind of a sleazeball a little bit. I don't know to what degree Chris Hansen was involved in this. Is this
doesn't-
made with his cooperation at all?
I'm not sure. It doesn't seem very flattering, like you were saying.
No,
so I would be surprised if he was involved. But
It very much makes him look like an ambulance chaser, like he, I don't know, which is how I think society since this time has kind of decided that.
I think that, yeah, that's kind of how this happened, right? The story is, if we've mentioned it before, but people don't know, like the reason this show's not on the air anymore is because they eventually chased a man to his house where he shot himself. And so I think it seems to be anyway playing with the sort of idea where he can fall into that spiral of pushing, like my mind blank for a second, but like I'm justified in doing this, so it just cycles it up to we're just like excusing this really kind of gross ambush television, but it's like, well, these guys are pedophiles, so screw them, and then it just escalates, I guess.
Chris Hansen, for the record, has said very little about it. He said they reached out to me this week, and I've been asked not to talk about it a great deal at this point. He said Robert Pattinson. He said he's an actor, right? Young, talented guy. He also he said very little. He doesn't seem to be like, fuck this film. So I have to imagine it was done with some cooperation. He's probably just like, hey, fuck it, like they already made that documentary too about To Catch a Predator a few years ago, right? That was also kind of about like, hey, remember this fucked up thing we did?
I don't remember. Maybe.
I think it's called. Hold on. I think it's called something like The Predator or something weird like that. Something where it's like Predators. It's called Predators, not to be confused by the other movie Predators.
The worst title
that was made
they
in
could've-
2025.
Yikes. Sure.
It feels like we're all kind of remembering this show and going like, did we really do that?
Yeah,
Like a show where we nabbed pedophiles on the air?
sure did.
Oh, there was in the low point of reality TV, there was a show called Cheaters, where it was like this. Only it
Joey
was
Greco
setting up,
gets stabbed,
and
maybe?
then he got stabbed. Yeah, which is the ideal outcome for a show like that. We things got real rough there. People talk about the modern media landscape as this just keeps getting worse and worse. It's like, no, I remember a time when it was worse. There's stuff that
real
that was on MTV or whatever in that cable era when all these 24-hour cable networks were just trying to fill the air with anything, and they had no standards, and there was like this race to the bottom of which reality show could be more cruel. And again, somebody can say, well, why do you care about being cruel to pedophiles? It's like, okay, but he was making entertainment. His goal was, this is not part of the criminal justice system. This is a TV show to sell ads during to get paid. No, it's spectacle. That's not.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be an element of that in your justice system. Not especially when, I don't know. I don't get the sense he was capturing the worst of the worst here. I don't know, especially knowing how much of that stuff was going on in Hollywood and nobody in Hollywood cared.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I felt like there was some deflection going on, maybe a little bit.
I think about. Yeah, with these era of shows, I think about James Urbaniak's character in Review. Like, I always imagine they're all kind of run by that, like this producer who's just kind of this, like, weird sociopath who just wants as much blood as... Yeah. And, it is a fascinating thing to explore. This movie is not something I would normally have been into, but watching the trailer, I'm like, oh, like you said, they're making it like a Nightcrawler.
It looks quite good, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's a worthwhile, like we've been saying, I think it's a worthwhile thing to examine. Normally,
I think
this
will be an Oscar. This is coming out an Oscar season, right?
Yes, soon.
Aren't they shooting for
September?
This feels like award bait to me. Just the way it's framed, the subject matter. That's, I suspect. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
I'm very curious how the Oscars, because there's like talk of like obsession, and like I think the Oscars know they've lost relevancy, and they've realized like they're seeing Gen Z like kind of take to some films. So I'm wondering if the Oscars is just going to be all of like the weirdest performances and the weirdest films, and I'm into that. Why not?
Same, yeah. I'm normally not into. I've said this before, but like into playing dress up about recent periods of history. But this is like 20 years on, which is brutal to think about. And like we've been saying, I think this is like a worthwhile thing to examine. They
could make a 9/11 movie now, and it would be like
they've made several.
Yeah, but they made
those were
several
too
at the
soon,
time.
though. Yeah, those were too soon, is what he's saying. Now is when you should have. But yeah,
they could make an Emmerich style 9/11 movie now, like a style where you're like, this is just grotesque.
How many decades until we get a Titanic version of 9/11?
Yeah, where they're like on the top of the buildings doing the arm thing, and it's a romance. It's not far off.
Is it the full 100 years? Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Wasn't the full 100 years the first time? Anyway, we can move on.
All right. Next trailer is Children of Blood and Bone. I saw this before Spider-Man, I want to say something, and it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This is like a young adult. It's based off a young adult novel.
Trilogy, I think.
Okay. It's like superhero adjacent, right?
It's magic, I think. It's like a fantasy series.
It's got everybody in it.
Fantasy series.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cast is huge.
Stacked.
The first time I heard about it there was news this week that went viral where the author of the book series disowned it and said that she had walked off the set, like sickened by the whole process, but did not specify, and there's probably a lot of NDAs involved, did not specify what she was upset about or whatever, but that's very difficult to judge a movie based on how the author of the source material reacts, because like I think Alan Moore hates everything that's ever been made off of his comics, and authors are, I don't know this author at all. I know authors as a class are a bunch of weirdos, and some of us are just extremely protective of the property, but film is just so different as a medium. You can't be like that. You just can't. Like, I would love it if you could, but the worst book, some of the worst adaptations I've seen are when they tried to go scene by scene from the book, and it's like, it's a different medium. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see what the reaction to the film is.
It was weird because reading that interview,
movies, right? Those are all like very controlled by the author. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's just the interview that you linked in here. It's like she doesn't specify why, so it could be literally like she just got in a fight with someone on the set. Like she might not be upset about the adaptation based on this. It's really hard to tell what went down
And
based on
Peter
that.
Benchley got thrown off the set of Jaws because they argued about the ending.
Good. Throw him off the set.
Yeah, your ending sucks, Pete.
Yeah. I don't know.
In my ending,
I'm-
the shark just gets tired and dies.
That aside, I'm worried about. Worried's the wrong word. I'm more like I wonder if because it feels like right now, like the superhero genre, there clearly is only room for like very few movies now. It's I wouldn't say it's dead or anything, but like I think about Masters of the Universe, I think about Dungeons and Dragons, and I think about this, and they're all kind of in the same headspace to me. Is that when people see stuff like this, they just kind of think about Marvel because they all have the same like general aesthetics, and it's like it's magic and wizards and fighting.
The space has been so dominated by Marvel for more than 10 years at this point.
Right, and I just don't know if people have like room in their hearts for more of this. I think everybody's moving on more, but I could be wrong.
Don't know.
This could be the next big thing.
Well,
This
the issue is that in the world of literature, it is utterly dominated by this genre. If you
Yeah.
go to a bookstore, you will see there's now an entire section of fantasy and YA fantasy and romantasy. A lot of it's female-led. It's magic. It's wizards. So they are going to try to get that stuff in the pipeline because half of book sales seem to be going to this genre. If you go on TikTok, anywhere where people talk about books in social media spaces, it is entirely about this stuff.
Yeah.
So Hollywood is trying to chase that trend, and they will be watching very, very carefully because I will bet there are 200 other films in development in this exact genre, and they're going to see how this one does.
Yeah, and this is director of The Woman King, which was quite good. Another movie that I think bombed though. And I guess
I don't remember how that did. That also has Viola Davis. She's in this one as well.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun, but I still felt the same thing where it's like, I don't know. Like, I think it's good to adapt books. We've been doing that forever, right? That's how some of the best, we just mentioned Jaws, like one of the biggest hits this year, Project Hail Mary. But that was like one and done, And I feel like the franchises, like, when you it's been a problem for a while where it's like you sit down and watch a movie that wants you to commit to like 5 more of them. Like that's the whole thing, right? It's like this is going to be the next 10 years of your life. And I don't know. Again, like I guess young people have more stamina. They're still making them Hunger Games, and those are doing well. So,
but there really was only room for a couple of, because remember they tried to do a whole bunch of different Hunger Gameses, and they did the Maze Runner and they did Divergent.
Right.
And they kept trying to and there it's like we've got room for 1 or 2, and then you're going to have a series of bombs after that because that's not the way Hollywood works. There is a finite space at the top, so if this works and all of these people are set for life, including that author, but
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I also think it's not how audiences work where, like Harry Potter, by the end of those movies, you're like, all right, I'm like, they were just doing 1 a year, and that's like, that's quaint now compared to like what Marvel was doing at a certain point.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah.
How'd we
Just 1 a year
survive?
around Christmas. Yeah.
yeah, but also you'll notice that one development that's occurred, and maybe you guys have already reported on this, is that they've kind of phased out doing Marvel TV shows anymore. There are none in development because they did realize that had watered down that brand. That was a COVID era thing that they had really put all that stuff, a bunch of stuff that was planned for features, they piled it into TV shows instead, and you got the Loki show, and you got the Captain America spinoff, all that. That stuff is all dead as far as I know. I don't think there's anything other than stuff that's already been filmed. I think they've shut off that pipeline and decided that actually wound up hurting us in the long run.
Yeah, they oversaturated it. Like
Yeah.
they devalued everything. They said it recently where they're going for quantity or quality over quantity now, and it's like, yeah, you should have always been doing that, but
Disney of all companies should have always known that because
Yeah.
they were always about, no, we're going to do a spectacular. We're not going to release 3 Pixar films a year. Every one that comes out is going to be great, but they're going to be spaced out. And you make more money that way than if you just have an assembly line where it starts to lose its magic.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about this one. For what it is, it looks fun. You know, it doesn't look like it's aimed for my demographic. Like it's aimed for younger people for sure. It feels like more like a tween demographic.
Yeah, and it's sort of, it's not like a world or a universe we get to see explored much.
Yeah.
At this, in blockbuster movies.
Yeah, which is cool. All right. Should we talk about Wicker?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wicker, anybody?
This will be this is going to be an Oscar movie. I'm telling you right now, from having watched the first minute of the trailer, this is going to be. Now, granted, we said the same thing about Eli Roth's Ice Cream Man. We've been wrong in the past, but this absolutely looks like because this has Shape of Water vibes to me.
Yeah. Olivia Colman, she's always kind of in Oscar things at this point. Like when she's showing up, you know, there's like an element of quality there. I thought when I first heard Wicker, I was like, oh, is this like the even grittier Wicker Man remake? Are they doing another one? And it is a Wicker Man. It's not the Wicker Man.
It's not that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah, we need to explain the premise of the film.
It seems like Pillion again, like Alexander Skarsgård.
I love Alexander Skarsgård boning people into epiphanies.
Yeah, he plays a sex genie all the time now.
Yeah.
And I love that for him.
Okay, we've still not said what the plot of Wicker is. It is about a woman who is a fisherman in a village. It's set when? 1700s? What do you think,
Something like that. Yeah, probably, yeah.
16th, 17th century, I don't know. And then she is getting to be middle-aged, famously has no husband, and then she goes to a guy who does some sort of magic and says, make me a husband out of Wicker. That guy's played by Peter Dinklage. And in the universe of this film, he's just like, sure, yeah, I can do that.
Does she specify Wicker?
No, she just says, make me a husband to marry.
Right. I just want to say that because, like, it seems like he'd be scratchy.
Yeah,
you know, like I'd be like, oh,
that's all I could think
again.
about. There's a lot of boning in this trailer, and that's all I could think about.
It's an erotic thing about how they have a torrid love affair that's based on sex. Like the whole point is she's using him for sex, not love, not affection. Like that's the joke throughout the trailer. It's much like The Shape of Water, where it is that movie. If you didn't see it, was about a very horny woman who meets a sexy fish man, and they really like it's this very horny film because there's this weird thing where in cinema you can't make a horny movie unless it can't just be about two people. That's gross. It can't be a man having sex with a woman. It's got to be something weird, or else that's just exploitation. So, and then obviously it's weird science. It's that genre of at the end of the film he is going to have to go back to his home Wicker planet, and she's going to have to get with Peter Dinklage or some other human. Like it's not going to be okay. Right. And then me and the Wicker Man stayed married for 50 years and
unless it is,
or he's going to go. It's going to Frankenstein, and the villagers are all going to get him. Yeah. I realize this could also have been a sexy Frosty the Snowman. Like you could have done it that way, and there's still time for someone to make that.
I 100%. If you Google it, somebody has made sexy Frosty because it's public domain. Like there's nothing stopping anybody from making horny Frosty.
That's true.
But no, this will win all the awards. There's a metaphor here for porn and AI and the whole thing about getting a partner that is not an independent person. Her, the Spike Jonze film, another example. Where they are catered to you, but they're not real, and you eventually realizing that it doesn't fill the whole, metaphorically, in your soul, it doesn't fill. And so at some point she will have that epiphany, I predict. Or although it would be fantastic if the film does in fact just end with like, no, this is better. Everybody should have like just a wicker masturbation man.
Yeah.
Just like a giant wicker man with like just a big wooden dick attached to him. That's far better than any human could be.
Yep, just total Soma in the form of a wicker Alexander Skarsgård. No, collapse into your fantasy. It's way better than real life.
I do want it to spin out of control in some way. I want like it to like I want like a village of wicker people by the end, or like she has a wicker baby and it's like very Cronenberg. Something, give me something. Yeah, I don't know. I this is one where it's also kind of like, what are you gonna do? Not see this? And it's like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna see this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see your Wicker movie.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's just, it knows what it has.
He's in there telling everybody in church he's gonna fix the bed because they broke it. Fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the trailer, by the way.
Yep.
That's a joke that's in the trailer.
Yeah,
which, by the way, can I talk about just a moment? How pleasant it is to be on one of these episodes when it's all of the Oscar bait trailers, rather than when we do it in like the summer and it's all the trailers and stuff that's coming out in like January. It's all the crap. Yeah. It's like, here's all the crap we didn't know where to put it. Like, no, these are the good movies. This is, it's like these two of these first three are going to be probably going to be Best Picture nominees, I predict.
Yeah.
Now, this next one is
depending on what happens with the Ice Cream Man now that news is out.
Yeah. We'll see. Still's got a shot. All right, the next one's a mini series called Below. It's Joshua Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett
versus the ocean.
Yeah, it's a mystery sea
creature.
monster. Yeah, we don't know what it is.
Yeah, they do not even say if it's a monster. They just there's something in the water. It could be pirate ghosts, could be a squid.
Yeah,
could be they be
weather.
It's a Netflix series, and they're trying very hard to not show you anything about. They show people getting like pulled underwater, but they don't show you what's doing it. It's like we want to preserve the mystery, and I guess at this point in my life, it's like, nah, just tell me if it's like mer people, just tell me. Just tell me. Call it Attack of the Mer People. The mystery is not going to compel me to tune in on its own. Just tell me what the thing's about. It's fine.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm very curious, though. You mentioned the notes, Widow's Bay. I'm curious what happened between the shooting and the marketing of this when they, like, I'm wondering how much of this actually resembles a Widow's Bay, or did they just use as many clips as they could to make people think about Widow's Bay? Like, what if it doesn't even take place on the island, or like, what if it's something completely different? I don't know. It really wants you to think about Widow's Bay, which honestly, I love that aesthetic. So I'm like, I
haven't seen
I'll
Widow's
watch a bunch
Bay
of it
yet. I need to, but it definitely feels kind of more traditional to me, like a Jaws.
Yeah, because
like
Widow's Bay,
the sheriff, and there's this
Widow's Bay is a comedy. Widow's Bay is, if anyone for the rest of my life has me on a meeting to talk about a John Dies at the End streaming series, I'm going to say, don't tell me it can't work. Because Widow's Bay, Tom, if you didn't know, is written by somebody who worked on Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if you had all of the small town incompetence of Parks and Recreation trying to deal with not just a supernatural threat, but an island where basically anything can turn up, from a sea monster to an invincible serial killer. Like, stuff is just appearing here, but you're dealing with the small town incompetence of, there's one innkeeper, there's one place to get your car fixed, there's one restaurant, and none of those people want to be doing their jobs. So you're trying to fight through just it's not that everybody in a small town is incompetent. The issue is that there's no competition for it. So that's what Widow's Bay is about, is trying to navigate a world where you do not have like the best of the best.
Yeah, it's navigating the tropes,
there's
right?
No
Because it's like, there's the creepy lighthouse keeper, and then there's scenes where he's dependent on the creepy lighthouse keeper to do something basic, and suddenly he's at the mercy of this like old creepy man, where you realize like he can't move very fast. Like, it's a lot of it's kind of Coen Brothers, I would argue. It's very like dry humor too throughout.
Yeah, and it's a lot of, there's like gory slapstick. It is. If you like my books, you will love Widow's Bay. And
Yes.
so this this show is not trying to do that. It's just that it is going to suffer with comparisons because it is the same setting. It is tiny little seaside town full of superstitions, and it's all gray and everybody's wet all the time. and they're all salt of the earth, and now they're having to deal with something they don't understand. And
As a New Englander, it's that thing where it's like Widow's Bay was shot in Massachusetts. It's that Lovecraftian / Jaws / The Fog, which is actually West Coast, but that like coastal spooky aesthetic. I could watch it forever.
This is like foggy Jaws.
There'll be some fog in this. I don't care if they don't actually. Are you saying they don't actually have fog in New England?
No, there's fog.
Oh, okay.
There's fog.
I thought you were saying.
No, I'm saying I love that aesthetic because it reminds me of home.
Oh, okay.
And it's that, and I think after Widow's Bay, we're gonna get a bunch of that aesthetic. This does feel like totally completely different.
Yeah,
like, it's not
not a comedy at all, to be clear.
But they want us to think about it for sure.
It looks. I mean, I'm gonna watch this. I love a good sea monster story.
Assuming that's what it is.
Yeah, again, assuming that's what it is.
It feels like if it was a sea monster story, they would have just shown us a sea monster.
Just tell me it's the sea monster,
they
right?
Seem to be, there seems to be a twist here where it's like, well, what if...
Wait, what's the dumbest thing it could be? Like, I wrote in the notes like a giant, like the big dumb Disney giant. Like,
a giant that looks like
stupidest
Josh
thing I could say?
Hartnett.
Yeah. Just a giant version of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. I mean, Cthulhu is. It's weird. We've talked about this where
He's
that's
having
like.
a moment.
Well, Cthulhu is public domain, right?
Yeah.
So it's just weird that Cthulhu isn't showing up everywhere.
But
He's in
also
Minions.
with Cthulhu, the danger is not that he like drags you under the sea; it's he drives people insane. So I think there'd be a lot more elements of people acting weird. But who can say? Could be a big dude whose head is a squid.
That would be cool too.
There's a tweet that I should be crediting it to the person, but I have no idea how to find it or who wrote it, saying that Lovecraft's like, it is a beast that you cannot possibly comprehend, and it will drive you insane to even think about it. And it's just then me comprehending perfectly. Squid guy.
Squid guy, got it.
It's perfect.
Big, thick thighs, gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk about this next one, which I thought this was a series, but I'm not seeing... It has, like, on the poster says see it in IMAX, so I guess not.
No, it's feature film.
The Thomas Crown Affair, starring and directed by Michael B. Jordan. I
really like that
character.
Yeah, I really like that casting. I think it's weird that this trailer never mentions he's a thief.
Right, it like forgets.
Right, it just sort of. So I think that's going to hurt it actually, because it sort of comes across as just kind of like another spy movie or like another secret agent movie. It's like no, he's like an art thief. It's cool.
Nah, they're not selling the premise. They're selling the man. They're selling the swagger. They're selling it's this guy, and
he's doing like James Bond shit in it. Sorry.
Yeah. Because it shows him like flying up a grappling hook on the side of a skyscraper and all that. But
like
for those of you who somehow don't know, the Thomas Crown Affair, there was a fantastic John McTiernan version in 1999 starring Pierce Brosnan. That itself was a remake of a 1968 version, which was a classic. I think it was nominated for Academy Awards. So this is a tried and true premise about a ultra high-end art thief. It's a guy who's like a billionaire, but he is just so bored with his life, he starts stealing art just to see if he can. And so it's this very high-flying, glitzy adventure. I love this genre because in real life, really easy to steal something from an art gallery. Because in these films, they've always got like security guards in like a NORAD control center with like screens all over this giant room, and they've got 30 people working there, and they've got lasers and heartbeat monitors. Where in real life, if you want to steal something from an art gallery, it's kind of like stealing something big from Target. It's not like they'll just let you take it. Like there's a guy there who'll tell you not to do it, but there's not like sensors on each painting and
Depends on the gallery, I guess. I want to see one of these where it's like a coffee shop gallery in a small, like a college town or something, where it's like, you can just take that off the wall.
Lifting like
The
a
artist will be
$60
happy.
painting off the wall.
Yeah.
My
The artist will just be glad someone's interested.
my understanding of art galleries is that they're protected by the fact that there's kind of not a reason to steal any of it because you can't move it. There's no market for
Who are you
it.
going to sell it to?
Right.
Yeah.
But for example, the real story back in 1910, somebody stole the Mona Lisa, which is the only reason any of us had heard of the Mona Lisa. It was a huge news story, but they stole it from the Louvre, and back then it took the Louvre 2 days to notice it was missing. And it was literally a visitor. One of the customers had to ask one of the
Hey,
staff,
where's the painting?
isn't there? No, they're like, there's a gap. And they're like, isn't there normally something there? It's like a square on the wall where there's no dust. Like, isn't there like a picture of a woman or something?
I like
and
that they didn't even notice the specific painting. It was that the balance was thrown off. Sorry.
And the staff had to go. They're like, yeah, they're probably cleaning it or something. The guy who stole it was like an Italian national, because this was right before World War I, so there's all this tension in Europe. Because the reason it became a news story is they're like, well, I bet the Germans, I bet the Kaiser had it stolen just to spite us, or I bet but he was like an Italian national, and he tried to move it, and like nobody's going to buy it, because it's like, well, no, they're all looking for it. He had the Mona Lisa in his apartment for 2 years. And then finally he contacts a gallery in Italy. It's like, hey, I have brought, this is my Italian accent, I have brought the Mona Lisa home to the home country, Mamma Mia. And the gallery is like, oh, really? And they immediately just called the Louvre. Like, yeah, we found the guy who stole.
Yeah.
This idiot has called us and said, I keep saying call. I assume they had phones back then.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, this guy's trying to give us the Mona Lisa.
They're
He's
just
got it
throwing
at his...
pigeons back and forth to each other.
They're like, yeah,
There is-
he's got the Mona Lisa under his bed at his apartment. Yeah, go get it. And so, yeah, they just went and got it. That's the story of how the Mona Lisa was stolen. Anyway, the point being, like, just the theft, he did not, like, climb down from a grappling hook. He just grabbed it and walked out.
There's one from Boston, a famous art museum theft, where it was like $200 million worth of art.
Well, they
And
stole
I
like
think
the Scream
reason,
like 20 years ago, right? Or recently even.
right? I think with the Boston one, part of the reason it's not completely solved is that I don't think the art turned up. So I think, to your point, it's like you steal a painting and then you're like, well, I guess I have this painting.
Or you
now,
sell it,
and that's what I have.
I was going to say, you kind of can only sell it to Bond villains. So,
Yeah.
like, you sell
Yeah.
it to, like, Putin or Elon Musk or some shit.
That's
like,
true.
you sell it to
They're
a
out
private
there.
collector.
But even then, they can't brag about it. They can't show it off. Like, it's just
you
not
can't
a
display
thing.
it. Yeah, you just, the knowledge that I have this painting somewhere.
But also the idea that these galleries can spend $4 million a month on a security system that's built on lasers and sensors. It's like, that's assuming they're
yeah.
making way more money than what, like, I'm sure the big ones are, but in the most cases, these things are struggling and depending on grants or whatever. I don't think the economics of having that kind of anyway.
No. I'm excited for this. I realize that you can take any Pierce Brosnan role and put Michael B. Jordan
You
in
really
the
can,
role.
yeah.
Yeah, and it works.
Mrs.
Even,
Doubtfire.
like Mrs. Doubtfire,
Yeah.
especially Mrs. Doubtfire. And like, I love that he did that other movie, the Without Remorse, which is why am I
Tom
Jack
Cruise
Ryan?
thing,
It's a
isn't it?
Jack
Yeah.
Ryan spin-off.
Oh, yeah.
It's Liev Shriver's character.
Clark, I think, something. John Clark, something.
Yeah. I just like that Michael B. Jordan also likes this genre.
He
I've
likes
been
dad movies.
noticing
He's
that-
making dad films.
Yeah, and this year we saw kind of a fall of like actors leading movies. You know, when we used to make Schwarzenegger movies or Tom Cruise movies, and it seems like we're getting back in that direction because I do think like a Michael B. Jordan movie might sell based
think so,
on
yeah.
the fact that it's him,
Yeah, I think so.
and so that's cool.
I just wish this trailer mentioned more about the art thief stuff. Like Jason was saying, lean into the premise
Yeah.
more. Like, he's cool. We like him, but like,
Well, keep in mind, this is a film that comes out next year. This is actually
true.
a summer movie. This is next March, so it's at the very beginning of the summer movie season next year. I think as the promotion gets closer, they'll lean
Yeah,
in
we'll
more on what the premise is. I think at this stage, it's just here's the next Michael B. Jordan thing. They're trying to
That's
build
very
him up
true.
as a star. And that's good. Hollywood has not been good about cranking out stars. That's why this year's summer movies, it's the same 3 people in every movie.
It was a deliberate strategy of theirs for the Marvel era.
I looked this up. The drama did better internationally. It did great across the board, but like that is an indie comedy, something that normally does not do great overseas. But it had Zendaya and it had Bobby Patterson, and it was like their names. They're
very famous worldwide. Yeah.
It's great news because like I want this. I hope this is a surprise hit next year because then we'll maybe get more. You know, like it's that realization of like people will watch comedies, they'll watch thrillers, they'll watch heist movies. They don't need it to be these huge stakes.
I mean, there was a reason that all those movie stars went and formed United Artists back in the day to break up the old studio systems, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
if Zendaya, if you're listening, courtroom drama, please. Everybody will go see it, and we'll get some courtroom dramas.
I did a video, a TikTok video about how when in my youth, the buddy cop genre, even if they're not cops, like Men in Black, like where you just take 2 superstars, and you know, 48 hours, and it's 48 hours. Eddie Murphy and
Nick Nolte,
2 people from different worlds, sometimes of different races. But the big thing is they're 2 different personalities, Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, and you let them just bounce off of each other. And there was a time when that was the surefire formula. Every summer you had a buddy cop movie where it's 2 superstars and let them go. Hollywood can't reliably do that anymore because they've not manufactured enough stars. Because you sit down and think like, who's your perfect, if you're going to remake Face Off, who's your perfect pairing that's like, Tom Holland and because like there was an action movie that they did that went direct to Prime. It was Jason Momoa and
I was going to mention
Batista,
that one.
I think.
Batista, yeah.
Right to streaming. Did not hear a word about it before or after. Like vanished into the ether. Like so you're sitting here and think, well, hell. If you wanted a blockbuster buddy movie, because I know they did that with Deadpool and Wolverine, but that wasn't because of the actors. If that was Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman playing just a couple of guys doing a heist or something, you would not have heard of that film. It played because Deadpool and Wolverine, not because of those 2 actors. So it's like, yeah, we're not in the era where there's enough stars where you can put those 2 faces on a poster and we'll go watch these 2 have fun with each other.
We've been focusing on brands and franchises and such for the last 2 decades.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Jumanji, open world.
Sure.
Now, I'm a little confused about how many Jumanjis there are.
This is
I'm
the
looking
third
it up.
of these, right?
Yes, because so when they say 5 Jumanjis, I just looked it up. They're cheating. They're counting the 1995 Jumanji and Zathura, A Space Adventure.
A film I had never heard of until right now.
Oh, really?
It's Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau,
It's a Jon Favreau film. It's good.
Who was in it? Who starred in it?
Dax Shepard. There's like nobody in it, really.
It was
I think it's a
bomb,
Hutcherson. Isn't Josh Hutcherson one of the
yeah,
little boys?
there's a Hutcherson.
How does it tie into the Jumanji universe? Because Wikipedia is calling it Jumanji 2. Oh.
That's it. It's just a board game about space that comes to life.
Which implies that somebody was making these boards. There's like a company
some force
making these
specifically making these magic board games.
Yeah, but it's the same format. The board game comes to life and everything becomes space.
Yeah.
It was a cool idea, well made. I remember it having like a really good practical effects at the time. But I think everybody was like, nah, we're good. The Jumanji, it looks like it's made...
That is whack to call it a Jumanji. I guess I understand why they have to call it a Jumanji movie because it technically just is Jumanji, but it's also like, that's cheating.
But these movies, the new ones, have made about $1 billion together.
All right. They're pretty... I've only seen the first one of these new ones, but I thought it was fun. Like, I really... thought the cast did a great job of committing to the bit, that they found a lot of good things to do with that idea.
I like all the people in it, you know.
So I don't
but they're stuck in a video
game.
game.
Laugh at me.
The film's called Jumanji Open World, and they're stuck in an open world video game. Is that the premise?
So
It looks like the
first
game
one,
avatars themselves are now trapped in the real world without people controlling them.
I've
It
not
seems
seen
like
these
that's part of
movies,
this
so I
offer.
don't know. I've not seen these
okay.
films, so I have no idea what you're talking about. You sound crazy right now.
so the first Jumanji, the new one, was kids. It was a video game now. Jumanji's
Yeah.
a video game now, and the kids go into the video game, right?
And they play as the different characters. So like Nat Wolff's character is controlling The Rock. So most of the movie, The Rock is portraying himself being played as Nat Wolff. If that makes
and
sense.
it creates a very
that's
fun
funny.
dynamic.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's a very classic thing that many movies can do. You know, where it's like Freaky Friday. You know, like what if you see an actor play a little kid, and then the next level is the next one, which I don't think I saw.
I didn't see that one.
The poster has a horse on it.
Sure. But this one looks like it's taking the video game people and putting them in the real world. So they do the stuff like where they're running all weird, like video game characters. They have some fun with it. It's, I don't hate it.
Well, I'm glad they at least knew to like swap it up. It looks like the next
Right.
level was just more of the same. They had Danny DeVito join the cast.
That's
so
right.
something.
That's right. It was like different people. So like changing up who was piloting who.
Yes, but then this one, I think they were right to go like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Jumanji the original, where it's like, and now it's all
How do we
coming out
escalate
into
this?
the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, exactly.
So
It's
I guess
a
the other
pretty
ones were
logical
prequels.
escalation. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no opinions on Jumanji. I guess, like, I'm not mad at them.
I guess my only opinion is that I assume this is for kids. I wish everybody in the movie wasn't like 75 years old. It's like the Minecraft movie, and it's like I have no problem with Jack Black. Seems like a nice guy, but do the kids care about 55-year-old Jack Black? Why don't they have their own? Who are the kids entertainers? Is there not some YouTube streamer that could be starring in this thing? The kids should have their own stars.
So I think I was just writing about this. There's a calculation that needs to be made here. And like, for example, Masters of the Universe screwed up the calculation, which is that right now, millennials are starting to finally have kids. So like millennials have kids who are like 5-ish right now. And so if you want to make a movie for kids, that's where you appeal to millennials as well. So like Jack Black does appeal to millennials, right? So it's like why the Minecraft movie was probably a good idea. But and I think like Shrek will probably do well, right? Because it's technically a
Shrek's
kids
gonna
movie,
murder, man.
but
All the
the
memes.
millennials are at the right age. You have to do that
Think of the
calculation of
memes,
the age
Dave.
gap. Yeah. I was
Sorry.
looking at an Alison Brie interview about Masters of the Universe where she's like, all these guys in their 50s are coming up to me and, the hope is that they'll bring their kids. And I'm like, their kids are 20. Like, they're not bringing their kids to Masters of the Universe. They went for the wrong age, right? Where it's like, the point is that's why, like, Toy Story is still good, right? Is because people... like millennials are like, I remember that as a kid. I will therefore bring my kid to it, and then it's something
Right.
because
You're
kids don't have
talking about a
choice.
30-year-old property as opposed to a 40-year-old property.
Right? And I think Jumanji also hit that because it's like millennials are like, I know Jumanji, I like Jack Black, I like The Rock, and so then they drag the kid along who has no choice. So it's got to be this like sweet spot of aiming it for like 40-year-olds and 5-year-olds is what they really want here. I think.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think this will do fine.
Yeah,
guess.
I liked the first one. The cast really commits, at least in that first one. So they look like they're still game, no pun intended, in this one.
Yeah. It is weird. I don't know. It is. That's why again, like Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, like and like that generation clearly are the ones who are going to be like drawing more people like in their 20s to things. Yeah, I don't know. You want to talk about Violent Night 2?
Sure.
Violent Night 2?
I didn't see the first one. This is
Neither
the one
did
where
I.
David Harbour plays Santa Claus who murders people.
And it's R-rated, like it's murder, like it's over the top blood and gore and cursing and all of that. And so the joke lasts about as long as you would think. And my perception was that it bombed, that that it kind of came and went, nobody cared. But I looked it up. It only had a $20 million budget, so they made it cheap. It grossed $76 million, which is that's. If you add in the marketing, it turned a profit. But I'm guessing it must have really good metrics on streaming, probably from people throwing it on at Christmas time. But see, making a sequel, I think, violates the whole concept of making a Christmas movie. The point of making a Christmas movie is you want it to be a staple that plays forever, and you just keep cashing that check like Mariah Carey.
Right.
Like that one Christmas song, she could have done nothing else in her life. She could have not done 1 minute of work outside of that Christmas song, and she would be rich until her grandchildren will be rich off of it. So that's why you make a Christmas movie, not to sound cynical, but you're trying to make a staple, something that comes back every year. So then you crank out a second one. I don't know. It's like, it's this again. It's Santa again, and he's killing people. It's like, well, yeah, but that joke. It's like when they made that Bad Santa sequel to Billy Bob Thornton. It's like, yeah, but we already saw that joke. Like this guy curses a lot and then learns the true meaning of Christmas.
It's the offer's not really any different because it's still going to be a version of that. I do like how this movie begins with, his powers have been taken away and now he has to go work at a shopping mall. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's not a bad escalation.
That's kind of funny.
This is the writer-director of Dead Snow, so I think this guy, and nothing against him, kind of bakes off like that. It's like kind of baseline irony, right?
Yeah,
like
really.
the
but
Nazi
like,
zombies,
still enjoyable. I did
Santa.
like Dead Snow. As far back into my skull as Nazi zombies make my eyes roll, I do like that movie.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm just generally sick of Santa in general. And then like it just in general, like movies about Santa, I'm like, he's not a complex character. That's why taking away his magic is a good idea, because otherwise he's kind of Deus Ex Machina. Like Santa can kind of just do anything in movies often. And it's like, I get him. It's like a Robin Hood. It's like, I got it. I don't need to explore Santa anymore. And then especially like, what if Santa was badass? I'm like, well, we've done that too several times.
Didn't Mel Gibson do one of those?
He did.
What happened in that film?
Fat Man.
Did that film become a Christmas staple that is beloved by the whole family?
I believe so.
I don't think so.
He's being hunted by Walton Goggins, I believe, is the premise.
Yeah. But this movie in a vacuum looks fine. It looks fun. It's got some fun little gags in it. It's just, and I like David Harbour, but yeah, I don't know.
Mrs. Claus is there. That seems to be the escalation of all these Christmas sequels, like the Kurt Russell one.
Yeah, you got to bring in Mrs. Claus.
Bring in Mrs. Claus.
As if she's like Thanos or something. Like you tease her in the first
Yeah,
film.
you got to tease Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
Really get that lore drop in the second film.
It's Kristen Bell as Mrs. Claus, which, yeah, it works.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like, this is, I don't know. I never saw the first one, so no.
We can move
Looks
on.
fun enough. All right. Fall 2 Deadpoint.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who saw Fall?
I think you might be.
No,
Okay.
I caught it on streaming. It's again, for people have not seen it. It's about two women who climb. It's like a huge radio tower.
radio
Is that what
tower.
it is?
Yeah.
And they're like extreme climbing enthusiasts, but then the tower crumbles and the platform fails or something, and so it's like a bottle episode of a TV show. It's a survival movie. Two people, nobody else. Two people surviving series of. They have to be clever about how they get out of it, and then I don't want to spoil the ending, but at least one of them doesn't. And it was a zero budget. Like it made on budget $3 million, grossed 20. If you can do that, you can work the rest of your life in Hollywood. If you can keep the budget that low, doesn't have to be a blockbuster. But you can film it for 3, make 20. You'll have work forever. And so they're like, yeah, it's got to make another one. Or the surviving lady, spoiler, since she's in this movie, she presumably survived unless she's a clone. She's climbing something again. she's gonna get stuck again.
Yes. Why,
It's like,
why is she doing that?
okay, you could have just not. You had the option of just not doing it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, the beginning of the trailer, it makes it clear she's like trying to conquer her fear. It's like in the memory of her friend who died. They're like watching a video of the friend who passed away. It's like, I feel like the best way to honor the friend would be to not do it.
Maybe don't do this.
It's like
again.
that was stupid.
It's part of the fun for me is like even the first movie, once they're on the top and they're like, we're in trouble. I'm like, yeah, how did that happen? Yeah. What lesson can we learn about not climbing an old tower? And then this one, I certainly don't fucking feel
like,
bad
let's
for her
climb
anymore.
They have to convince somebody to guide them around the ancient trail.
Yeah, don't do that.
Maybe
around
don't
do
that.
It's an old wooden like platform as wide as a person that's not been maintained around a cliffside 8,000 feet off the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're doing it, and then halfway through, they're like, "Wait a second, there's a storm coming in. Now everything is wet and the thing is falling apart." It's like, wait, so that's all it took to ruin your plans if it rained?
Yeah.
That's the crisis that you could not possibly have known. It's like it's a part
Never
of the world
rains
where
here.
seems like it rains a lot, really.
Never rains on this mountain.
This movie's going to make a lot of money. That's my prediction. First of all, one of the famous things about it, or notable things about it, is that at the time they digitally changed their mouths and their dialogue to make it PG-13. They originally swore.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
they realized we can knock this down to PG-13. It was shown to me by my nephew, and it was all over TikTok and social media because it made some good clips. And the movie itself has more to it, enough more to it that there was you could see a sequel finding things to do in the sequel. Like there's character stuff and there's psychological aspect, and it's more a horror movie. It's all to say that I think they calculate it really well as being something for young people and again very shareable online, because it's the images are immediately scary because it's oh, look at them, they're gonna fall. So whether or not you like the movie, it's just very smart. I think they've been very very good about selling this. So I think this will do very well.
I haven't, nothing, no comment on the quality of the film. I put this in the notes, but it's such a perfect version of the meme of a dumb person watching a movie. I bet they're gonna fall.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what's gonna happen.
Does it help? Okay, hold on. Tom, does it help you to know that the director of Fall 2 is the director of Daybreakers?
Yes. That actually helped. It's the vampire one, right?
Yes, and Predestination.
Well, is there going to be a surprise Ethan Hawke in this, do we think?
There better be.
Is he waiting at the bottom of the mountain? Is that what they fall into? Is just him standing down there?
That's what they're trying to get at the top. That's the prize.
Oh, he's at the top. Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, and again, low budget. This is not a blockbuster. This is not Stallone's Cliffhanger. From the trailer, I do not believe they even visited a mountain in the course of shooting this film.
No.
This is soundstage. Everything's digital. This is the miracle of digital technologies. You can shoot these people on a little styrofoam wall, and then you can paint in a 1,000-foot drop below them.
This could be a stage play. You could do this premise on stage.
The first one too was we're going to build the top of a tower and put it on a green screen. That movie was $3 million to make, and it made $20 million. This is a little money machine.
Yeah, that tower doesn't exist anywhere. That's not. No.
And that's what I mean is the movie was kind of it felt cynically made, but then watching the movie, I was they gave a shit. They tried to.
Yeah, I need to just watch it. People keep telling me it's worth watching. So
if you're out there and you're a screenwriter, I will say this: if all of your ideas and all your scripts are something that can only be made for $150 million. Make yourself write something that can be made for $1 million.
Yep.
Make yourself write or less. That's the challenge. Instead of just imagining they'll make it look beautiful. They'll have no. Force yourself to write something that you and your friends could shoot if you had to. And so with this, that is a great writing challenge that they had here because it all takes place. There's not a variety in the locations. There's not a variety in the villains or in the characters. It's two people on a tower for almost the entire film, and you have to develop all of the character arcs, all of the crises and the comebacks, all of the creative, problem solving, all has to be contained in that. So it's all on the screenwriter really to come up with how to sustain that for a feature length.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's tough, yeah.
But if you pull it
Sitting here
off,
thinking about it.
they'll love you for it. Like they'll people. That's a producer's wet dream, right? Is like, yeah, we can shoot this for under $1 million, and it's like anything that's just people. That's what this Obsession. You watch Obsession, you go like, it's just people. It's just people talking in rooms. That's it. Like there's a little bit of effects here and there, but yeah, it's a money machine, and it's something people like, and that's nice too,
Speaking of money machines, series that just won't quit, Bad Lieutenant Tokyo
Yeah.
by Takashi Miike.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Bad Lieutenants. Now I'm like, what is this? What are these? How many of these are there?
There are 3.
Yeah, because in the second one, the first was Harvey Keitel, the second was Nicolas Cage, but he wasn't playing the same character, was he?
I don't believe so. I think it's just about the general concept of bad lieutenants.
Of a bad lieutenant, of which I assume there's more than 3 in the world, so
Yeah.
you could keep going for a while. But it's fascinating that it's more just an aesthetic. It's these guys. It's a lieutenant who is going nuts on a particular day on the job, right? Like he's losing his mind.
It's a guy
And then
spiraling.
chaos ensues, and so that's what's a role I would have said was absolutely made for Harvey Keitel, who great at playing that kind of role, but also made for Nicolas Cage. And then you watch this trailer, it's like, oh no, it's made for this guy.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
sure
pretty
someone.
good idea for a Takashi Miike film, if you're familiar with any of his movies.
God.
It's
Yeah.
stuff like he did.
Audition?
Yeah.
Audition anyone? Someone's already made this joke, but I want to write one of these where he's just spills his coffee and he's like quartering people in the hallway with really long, boring conversations, and he's just not clocking in on time.
like a bad lieutenant, but not in an
bad at his
interesting
job.
way.
No, he's just generally incompetent.
Right. He's not like cool or interesting to watch.
No.
He's abusing the PTO policy.
Yeah.
He's using department money to pay for his lunch. Bad lieutenant.
Yeah. Audition, Ichi the Killer is the two big ones. Right?
Okay. Yeah, so this is gonna be gory.
He did Blade of
Yeah.
the Immortal. One of the
Yeah.
adaptations of Blade of the Immortal. It's pretty sweet.
Audition might be it's not the king of. It's up there in the list of movies where you watch and go like, thanks. Never watching that again.
I mean, so is Ichi the Killer.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves doing
13
it.
Assassins is fun, though. That's like a rewatchable one.
Yeah.
He's made, I think he's directed over 100 films.
Let's see. 125 listed here. Some of those are probably like TV episodes. But yeah, he just can't stop making things.
Can't help himself. So yeah, good pick for somebody to make a movie about a gonzo crooked police cop having like a falling down day.
I don't have to have watched the previous ones to understand what's happening in this, probably.
I
don't think so. I think you can start with Port of Call, New Orleans, if you want to just jump straight to Nicolas Cage. I don't think you need to see the original.
I would love Bad Lieutenant Secret Wars, and like
Where
they
they all
all fight.
The multiverse,
Yeah. Why not?
where they all come in to share a cry with each other about their dead aunt.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this?
No, it looks sweet.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of multiverse, Air Bud returns. Air Bud returns.
Is this just a straight reboot of the original Air Bud? That's what it appears to be.
I mean, but the title is Returns. You can't do that. That's against the law. You got to call it Air Bud Resurrection or something. But it's got even the line where the guy says, he's got the rule book. He's like, ain't no rule says a dog can't play basketball which is such a
Yeah.
misunderstanding of how rule books work. But it's so beautiful. Now, the premise of a dog that plays basketball, someone might ask themselves, how many films could you get out of that premise? And if I were to ask as a trivia question at a bar, how many films are in the Air Bud franchise and extended cinematic universe, I think all of you would get it wrong because the answer is 15.
Yep.
Now,
Well, what's nuts is, are you
does that
counting
count
like,
all the space buddies and like super buddies?
It does. It's the direct-to-video. You've got, because you had the original Air Bud films, Air Bud 2, Golden Receiver. He played football. And then this will be the third one, Air Bud Returns. But again, the Air Bud, the original's in 1997. That dog is long dead.
Right.
What are you talking
and
about?
then
They brought him back for this movie.
the direct-to-video films are Air Bud World Pup, Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch, Air Bud Spikes Back, must be a volleyball.
yeah.
So it's got to be a different sport every time. And then the Air Buddies are puppies that I guess are the Air Buds litter. And
his
they go on
progeny.
adventures. So it's Air Buddies, Snow Buddies, Space Buddies, where they go into space. I've seen that one. Santa Buddies, where they save Christmas. Spooky Buddies, Treasure
Is that
Buddies.
as violent as Violent Night, do you suppose? Sorry.
I hope so. And then
Yeah.
Super Buddies, their superhero film. And then the spinoff Santa Paws series, The Search for Santa Paws, and then Santa Paws 2, The Santa Pups.
Yes.
So
They-
it's a rich
like-
mind to be.
Yeah, it's like
explored.
how AI, like if it makes the same image, it keeps slowly changing. It's like word association, the titles, where it's just like it starts snaking into buddies and pups. It's the director of this is
they haven't
the
even
director
gotten
of
to water sports yet. Sorry.
Yeah, they also haven't gotten to like the most dangerous game or
No,
like, a
like
battle
sport, like
royale.
sport fishing.
Yeah. This is the director of all four. I shouldn't say all four because there might be more. Or three of the MVP, most valuable primate, which then became MVP2, most vertical primate. And then
Oh,
there's
hell yeah.
MXP, most extreme, primate.
That's when he's like
Just
getting some
three.
sick grindage, some narnar air and a vert, right? Like he's skateboarding,
Yeah.
I think.
Have people checked on the conditions of the animals in these movies? Like,
No.
there must be, like, the FBI needs to get involved. He also directed Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch. He did Air Buddies, Snow Buddies.
He's the
Space
man for the
Buddies.
job, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
To bring
like, I'm
this
glad.
back, to bring the story back to a new generation.
Right. I'm glad they didn't get like, oh, we need like a premiere, like a new director for this. No, they went to the person who knew what this.
Who knew what
was.
success tasted like?
He's the Russo brothers of
Yeah.
the Air Bud. It's and he's probably rich enough to have us killed. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
because those Space Buddies movies, which they all look like they are made for under $1 million, but they're Disney. Like they're going right to the Disney Plus. I would assume they're going right to streaming, and kids will put that stuff on, and it will you will put that on for a toddler and stream 1 billion hours a year of anything, and it's all adorable puppies. They've done CGI with their mouths to make it look like they're talking. It doesn't look good. Doesn't have to look good. It's toddlers.
I think some of these boil down. I'm looking at one of his films, Spy Mate, which it didn't click that it's primate, Spy Mate. That didn't click immediately.
That's pretty good.
But from what I can tell, I think a lot of these movies are let's shoot B-roll of a chimp on a green screen for 10 hours, and then we'll put something together. Like,
Well,
I think there's
they definitely
probably a lot
start
of
with
that.
the pun, right? They're like, okay, what's the title we can come up with, and what sport
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, to be clear, the fact that you can do an entirely CGI dog and chimp or whatever is much different. If you go look at how these shows were, because again, back in the 1950s, every network had a show about a monkey or a horse or a talking name your animal, and they're
With
all
someone
horror
barely
stories
off
behind.
frame beating it with a stick.
Yeah. This is my white whale project that never happened. Was I back like 30 years ago in the early 2000s, maybe 25 some years ago. Me and Jay Pinkerton, a famous writer who went on to work for Valve, we pitched an agent on a book they were going to co-write, and it was going to be an episode guide for a show that never existed.
Oh man.
But it is for a show.
fuck.
a show called Monkey Sheriff, where the premise was that in a town's bylaws, somehow a monkey wound up becoming sheriff for some stupid reason. And you get the sense this was one of the worst shows ever made, but also it ran for like 23 seasons. And then as like they went through so many chimpanzees because they kept, like, the one they started with was kind of a famous Hollywood chimpanzee, but it like went crazy on set and killed several people. And so as the seasons went on, they were having to go with less and less trained chimps because the well of trained animals. So the behind the scenes was that it just descended into this absolute nightmare, but they couldn't cancel it because it made so much money. And so it was just this oral history of this show and the rise and fall and everybody and like the economics of TV back then and how much money everybody was making for just the laziest.
Oh, it's so good.
I love that joke bucket. Like, we do an entire show. It's called Batical. That's it's about a Mortal Kombat type video game that never existed. But it's I think Dave and I've probably pitched like 8 different versions of a similar. It's like one of my favorite joke buckets. It's like this thing that never existed.
Yeah, and it is, and I hope your show is doing very well. I am very confident that book would have not sold any copies.
Oh no, not at all.
Except to other comedy nerds, and I think they would have been a nightmare going back and forth with the publisher, where they're like, "Well, no, we have to make it clear that this show was not real." It's like, well, yeah, but that ruins it. Like, it's got to be presented like the shocking truth behind this beloved show. It's like, well, yeah, but then they're not going to know what they're buying. If they've not heard of the show, they're not going to buy it. It's like, well, no, but once word gets around what we're doing, it's like that. It's not going to work like that. You're going to sell it to some hipsters who are going to think it's extremely funny, and then it will lose everyone an enormous amount of money. So very, very sad that the agent wasn't interested in it. In retrospect, they were 100% correct. But I still think it would have been a treasured piece of comedy. I think me and Jay would have had a lot of fun with it.
Man,
I would have bought it.
I would have bought the shit out of that. Anyway, Air Bud returns. I think they're going for a little irony. Is this really coming to theaters?
Apparently.
The synopsis, and maybe this is the same synopsis as Air Bud, but the synopsis, the first sentence is: a grieving 12-year-old boy finds his dad's old VHS tape and befriends a stray golden retriever in his new town. Period. And I'm like,
so is
this like an 8mm situation? Like, what is the tape?
Yeah, right. Like, I think they meant to say that he finds his dad's old copy of Air Bud, but like...
Oh, okay. That's how they're going to do it.
We do need to know what's on that tape.
Right. I feel like they're going for irony. It felt like they were kind of making it... And I'm like, okay, if that's the case, maybe don't actually get the Air Bud guy. Maybe get like a comedy director, writer. Get like comedians in this. Get like big names in it. Like, they could probably take the Air Bud property
also,
and just once spend like $30 million on one. Like, just once.
Oh no!
Don't do it again.
I don't think they've spent $30 million total on these movies.
No, it's not. That's not how this works.
I was like, get Tim Robinson to make an Air Bud. Come on.
But again, how irresponsible that league never made a rule. Like, I get that back in 1997 or whatever, there was no rule that Bell couldn't play basketball. You could easily add that rule with one meeting. Like, that next off season, they would absolutely, because otherwise everybody's going to be trying to pull some stunt with a dog. It's no, this is abusive to the animals. You're putting them in danger.
That's famously the Lord Byron thing, right? Where he brought like his bear on campus. There's no rule that says I can't have a bear. But
and the answer is, well, there is now. But we're making the rule now.
That would literally be the Tim Robinson Air Bud, as he would be some guy in the audience being like, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Like, even if there's no explicit rule, there's usually a general rule at the bottom of the rule book that's like, plus the referee can use their discretion if you try to do something crazy. Like, it doesn't specifically say you can't pull a switchblade out of your shorts, but it's implied. The rules of society make it clear, no, you cannot. This is a sport for humans.
Right, like, Like, I don't think that what Tanya Harding did was specifically against the rules of competitive figure skating. Like, I don't know that specific thing was in there, but anyway.
I just had an absolute nightmare that I know is going to happen. Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to give voice to this.
Right. I have a pitch. Air Bud returns. It's about Air Bud returning home, and he's riddled with guilt that he has broken Zeus's law that there's no rule that there can't be a dog in a game. It's about after the Air Bud plot, and he knows that like he has broken, the basic foundation of civility, and now there's dogs doing everything everywhere.
Right, there's
just dogs.
Yeah,
there's no turning back.
Bottle, yeah. We've unmade society.
Okay. All right, stop. Everything stop. Everybody stop.
Right.
When does this movie come out?
January, I believe.
Tomorrow.
Just in
January.
time for the Oscars.
Okay. I think between here and January, the Daily Wire is going to make a goddamn movie about, well, the dog identifies as a person. That's why you have to let them play. And I can picture the whole thing in my mind. I can picture the facial expressions. Who are the guys who starred in that Lady Ballers movie?
Lady Ballers. I mean,
it's going to be Matt Walsh.
I know one of
kind
their
of already
names.
did it. Yeah.
It's going to be Matt Walsh, and they'll have the one joke, and they're going to have to try to stretch it into, because they can't resist making their one joke. They're going to try to stretch it into a feature-length thing that lives on the Daily Wire website, and they'll get like a few outrage articles out of it, and then it'll just. Because nobody will watch it. Nobody will watch
Jonathan
it for
Majors in it. He'll fall out a window and break his leg.
Oh Jesus! But like nobody will watch it for enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? Like they would only watch it so they could say like they could trigger their coworkers or whatever.
Or people watching it to do essays about it.
It's the only reason anyone's ever bought a copy of Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
So you could. It's entirely a discussion fodder, and it's like the saddest way to make entertainment, where it's like, well, people will be mad about this. They'll be forced. They have to watch it, or else they can't make a YouTube essay about it.
Yeah,
they've got it. So we win.
If it makes you feel better, the good news is I'm not sure the Daily Wire will be around next year, because their Pendragon cycle. They made a fucking a Game of Thrones.
Right, I forgot about that.
This inner story, they had a bunch of layoffs, because the inner story is that Jeremy Boring was like a failed screenwriter, and he used the Daily Wire to just try to make all these movies. He stepped down as CEO, and like Lady Ballers,
isn't he
Pendragon,
the star
Rise of the
Lady
Merlin.
Ballers?
Yes, he made movies that he was the star of, and spent all their money. And I think like this Jonathan Majors thing, and then the falling out the window. I'm like, surely they have to be having meetings, going like, hey, maybe we should make political news things, because that's what we do. Maybe we shouldn't try to make action films and fantasy films and spend millions of dollars.
Okay,
but we'll see.
You're going to regret bringing this up.
Yeah.
Because their whole premise is, well, we're going to make action adventure, only it's not going to be woke.
Right.
Okay, stop. Do you think the James Bond franchise is a leftist communist idea? Because what I see is a sexy dude who once a film has to make a speech saying, look, sometimes the only way to deal with bad people is for me to shoot them in the goddamn head. Yep. And also, because I'm so good at shooting people in the head, I am going to have sex with the hottest babe you have ever seen. And that is a conservative premise.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings was written by a Catholic who was born in 1896. That is not a leftist. I'm sorry, it's not. Hollywood makes non-woke stuff all the time. Reacher is not a leftist series. It is about a giant man who solves crime by beating the criminals to death. No one is rehabilitated in the Reacher universe, but that is not a show about how we need to abolish prison and how, hey, if we just took care of these people's needs, there would be no crime. No. Reacher is like, no, some people need to be beaten to death. Some people are naturally evil, and the only way to deal with it is to be bigger and stronger than them. That is a conservative idea, and guess what? We all love it. It makes a ton of money. It's John Wick is not that is not a pro-gun control premise. John Wick is about how guns are the coolest way to solve any problem. We watched the hell out of that. They completely misunderstand. They're trying to fill a void that doesn't exist. If Mel Gibson went to a studio and said, I want to make Braveheart 2, straight up, it's just, they would fund it. I'm sorry, they would give him the money to do it because people will go see it. And I'm not saying that it's like Braveheart where he stops and gives a speech to camera about how, well, I only believe in two genders. I don't mean that. I mean just Braveheart, just a man of the earth who is wronged by the government, and he has to rise up all of the farmers into a rebellion and to sacrifice himself for freedom. People would watch the hell out of that across the political spectrum. It's such a misunderstanding of like, well, we're going to make a non-woke Lord of the Rings. It's like the Lord of the Rings is about how there's an entire race of beings that are just evil from birth. They're born evil.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. We all love it. It's everybody. Bernie Sanders probably loves that movie. Like, it's totally. They live in like this alternate universe where people are longing for a Republican version of that.
They've gotten. I mean, Elon Musk talked about how he wants to pay Mel Gibson $100 million to make a non-woke Odyssey, and it's one of those things where it's like, number one, Mel Gibson is a lot of things, but he is a director who would go like, no. Like, no, he probably likes the new Odyssey. It's just they've gotten, because they did accuse James Bond of being woke in the last movie because there was a black lady doing action scenes in it. Like, they're the things they call woke now. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's fucking James Bond. It's woke now. The Odyssey was woke now, and it's like, it's the Odyssey, guys.
What would non-woke Air Bud be? I guess we already know. We know exactly what it would be.
I don't know.
It would be Lady Ballers. They would be all the same jokes in Lady Ballers.
It would be all the Air Bud. Why did Air Bud do this to us?
That was my fault because I immediately was imagining what
I blame
the joke they would make, and they're going to make this joke on social media. I can tell you right now, I've been in those waters long enough. I know exactly what they're gonna. It doesn't matter.
Those are some gross waters. All right, well, let's thank some more producers.
Let's do it.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks Esquire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
Thank you to Daniel O'Brien's white hot hatred of Pinocchio the puppet.
Thank you.
Specifying the puppet. Thank you to Dave Ruff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson. Thank you to Disposable Income.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Driftless Magistrate of Wagga Wagga and Skull Tower Aficionado.
Thank you.
Thank you to Encircled by Ravages of the Scourge. Zombie Battle is hard work.
Thank you.
And thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you so much. All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to Funky J. Mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Thank you
to Happy Ed, the Revenge.
Thank you.
To I was quite frankly out of excuses.
Thank
you to Joe Man, the annoying skeleton.
Thank you.
Thank you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thanks.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Marvelous Maeve.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank
you to Norm from Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers and Dying Love for Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven.
Thank you. All right, news stories.
News.
Spider-Man made $1 billion.
Yeah.
In how many days? Like one?
Six.
A lot.
It was the second highest, like second least amount of whatever.
After I think just Avengers, right?
Yeah.
I've been on a lot of episodes of this show, especially post-pandemic, where we were worried that cinema was dying or that theatrical was going to die because the economics, they couldn't survive on having one big movie a year. Yeah, this is huge comeback. Obviously did not start with this, but also The Odyssey, but also Backrooms, also Obsession. It has been a monster comeback, not for cinema, but specifically for theatrical, for people paying a ticket and leaving the house. I know that it feels like there need to be way more IMAX screens than there are, and there's a whole deal with, because The Odyssey, it ties up all those screens, and that's a big part of where its money is coming from. But no, this has been a big turnaround. I think Hollywood traditionally, maybe we should have known this, they have been good at adjusting over the decades and figuring out well, maybe we do. Maybe we can't give people the exact same movie over and over again.
Yeah.
And here, I didn't realize until this film came out that they fired that, or they went to a new director from the one who had done the Home Tom Holland
it's a
films.
different look completely.
Yeah, and so that's, they pivoted. Give them credit. It is an industry capable of doing that.
The bar is low, but unlike the previous Spider-Mans, they filmed it at places.
Yeah.
Not in New York City, but at places.
But in cities, in sets. It's nature. It's healing. Like I mentioned, the mid-budget. The mid-budget is doing way better now. Like genre mid-budget indie. Like that was the thing. The box office was rebounding before this, and then it's like we got this in Doomsday, which will probably, make billions of dollars. I don't know. It's to be expected. This was pointed out to me maybe by you, Tom, or somebody. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, but like Spider-Man specifically has also been. They've really re-upped the nostalgia. It's been going strong longer than the MCU.
Yeah.
And they made one in the 2000s, then they made one in the 2010s, and now one now. So it's like people of all ages are like, I love Spider-Man, because everybody has a Spider-Man that they grew up on, like, or at least that they were
also
like,
them Spider-Verses
excited
too.
for.
Don't forget about those.
Yeah, and the Spider-Verses. So it's like they've been doing it really well. They'll reboot it. And the rebooting of it is, I think, like really key. My curiosity is that I wonder if this will actually do better than Doomsday.
I think
because Spider-Man, I think, is more
know.
popular. Yeah, I don't know.
He definitely is. I mean, you also... like Tom Holland and Zendaya are like two of the most famous and popular people right now. So that's a huge part of it too.
Yeah. All right.
Other story. I'm curious to see how Doomsday does.
Especially,
me too.
The Doomsday trailer, the Avengers Doomsday trailer looked very, very, very bad to me. And I know that it's unfinished special effects, but it has that look that we had grown to hate, where it's clear they're just in a room. And it's clear the actors are not shot at the same time. Like they're all just composited in, so you have people talking to each other, but it's clear that they're not interacting. They're in a room. They're in a green room, and they've painted in a spaceship in the background. The spaceship looks pretty cool, but they're clearly not standing in a set that they built. And you can tell it strikes the eyeballs as people standing in a room. And I think part of that is because once you start making TV shows that look like this, that no longer hits you as spectacle.
A movie, yeah. Something
it feels
special.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels claustrophobic. Yeah.
So, there's like this big thing where Thor jumps up in the air and lands with his hammer on Doom, and Doom like holds up his little finger, and stops it. And you're supposed to be like, oh my gosh. But they're doing it in like this void. Just this void space, and
I believe it's the blasted remains of Xavier's school.
Maybe, but maybe they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide what where they are in the trailer. But it looks like it's a stage play. It looks like, I don't know. It doesn't hit the eyes as this guy is actually swinging across a building or whatever. So I will be very interested. It will open huge no matter what.
Of course.
It could be the worst thing ever made in that opening weekend. It'll make $400 million its opening weekend. I'll be curious to see what the reviews are like, what the reaction is like, and then what the legs are like, and if they don't come to the conclusion that, okay, this was our send-off for these elderly actors we've forced to come back to this thing for.
You did say something that hadn't occurred to me. It does look like those later seasons of Arrested Development, where it's just very obvious that nobody's in the room, and you wouldn't think it would matter as much for something like this because it's maybe less about their specific comedic chemistry, but
I think people are slowly. I don't know how long you can last on hype, because I've been seeing a lot of people like after watching this one, going back and going like, does anybody notice that the No Way Home actually kind of looks like shit? Like when you watch it at home and there's weird pauses for people to clap, and everybody's on a green screen, and it's that feeling of like, it's Tom Holland, who's like the age of the demographic they're going for, went from the Odyssey set, and there's a great interview with him where he's like, I'd go there and Christopher Nolan would like know what they were doing for the day and have it all planned out. And then I went on Spider-Man. I was like, guys, we need to do that. We need to like know why we're making this movie. And there's a lot of like that praise where you're like, that's just... Like, there was people online looking at Obsession going, like, look at how amazing this is, the shot of the decade of, like, this shot. And it's like, oh, no, you haven't been used to lighting. Like, everything's lit and flat and everything, all the Avengers stuff. So it feels like it's people slowly kind of realizing, like, wait, movies can have, like, contrast in it. And, like, people can plan the movies before making them. And they don't have to all look like... They're all on a green screen, and so I don't know. I hope people slowly kind of start demanding that from their movies, because Doomsday, it's like it just becomes noise at a certain point where, like that shot with Thor, where it's like, oh, and Doomsday stops his thing, and it's like. It's all just like lasers. You know what I mean? Like it's all just like electricity at each other.
Yeah, it is,
and it's like his
lasers.
lasers beats his lasers until it doesn't later
right,
because he gets a stone
until
or something.
Eventually their laser is stronger. I mean, you're not wrong.
That's
it is just Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's what happened with Thor's hammer, and then it was like, and then I have the axe, and the axe is better. And it's like, I don't know, after a certain amount of time, it's so abstract and it's all on a green screen that I don't connect with it emotionally as much.
Also, the way these films are made, and I know that action movies have been made like this forever, but where they're doing like previs on the special effects before they've got a script, and they're having to like build digital sets and stuff before they have a screenplay. Like they know they want this sequence, this sequence, this sequence. But as for like, okay, but why are these people doing that stuff? They have to figure that out later, and they'll shoot the movie. And then they'll shoot it all again, because that was the thing that kind of Disney and Marvel, their process they brought was the idea of just the movie is made in the reshoots. You make a version of it, you show it to a test audience, and then you just refilm freaking 40% of it. Not picking up individual scenes here and there, redo, like you just remake the whole third act. And that's where that thing where people watch a trailer and the characters are like standing on a cliffside. But then in the film, they're in an alley in the city. It's like, they just painted. That's why they had to light it like that. Because they had to decide later, are these people talking, is she talking to Tony Stark in his office? Or is she talking to Thor on a mountain? We'll figure it out. Oh, wait, you know what? Let's put them on the mountain. It's like, okay, but now they're not lit like they're on a mountain. They're lit like they're in a room. And it's clear they're not on a mountain. You just painted in a mountain. But their process demands that, because the way they shoot these things, they leave themselves so much flexibility where it's like, well, we'll just kind of figure it out as we go. It's like improvised. And it's one reason why these movies cost $300 million to make.
Yeah. Yeah. I just really hope they stop doing that.
But the Mission Impossible movies are made the same way. They shoot the stunts before they have a script. When they bring in the female love interest or whatever, and they're doing a car chase, when she films that scene, she literally does not know her character's name. She doesn't know why she's there. She doesn't know who they're running from, because they've not figured that out yet, because they do this stuff on location. Like, that's what Tom Cruise is like, no, we're going to shoot this in Rome. We're going to shoot this part in Moscow. It's like, okay, but that means they have to do all of that in advance, all of that location work in advance, all of that stunt work in advance, long before they've got a screenplay. And so that's why all of their exposition scenes are just, it's like two of them talking in a tiny little room.
In a concrete bunker, Yeah,
because and someone says he has the fox's dick in Rome, and they go get the fox's dick or whatever the thing is called.
Once they've shot all of those action sequences, they give it to a screenwriter, and this is like my screenwriting panic nightmare. It's like, okay, we've got Tom Cruise driving, he's running. We shot a bunch of stuff. It's literally is how they do it. We shot a bunch of stuff of Tom Cruise in an airport, and he's like being stalked by somebody, and he has to run away from them, and he runs on the roof. And then we've got him in like a submarine that's sinking. Why? Okay, here you go. You figure out why he's doing those things. And so you piece together a story, and then all of the connective story, they go back to on a soundstage, and they shoot all of those parts later, much later.
I wish they, for fun, just did a bunch of different versions. Where one of them is he's like running from his dealer who he ripped off.
Yeah.
Like just do like 5 movies around the action scenes of varying degrees
Really
of like
bowfinger it.
stakes. Yeah,
But that's why they do so much stuff where he's like got an earpiece, and then his assistant who does who's the nerd in the movie that is on the
Simon
Simon Pegg.
Pegg.
where he's like in a little enclosed room, like, okay, turn left, Tom. He wouldn't call him Tom. Okay, we've got 5 seconds before the bomb detonates. You've got to follow him to the gate. That's all later. They filmed Simon Pegg in a little room over a laptop. And Tom Cruise, when he was shooting that scene, had no idea that his character was going to have an earpiece with somebody saying things to him. And again, a lot of people liked some of those movies. I feel like in the last 2, you can absolutely tell.
I didn't see the
there's
very
been
last
diminishing
one,
returns.
but the one before that I did see, and you could feel it there. It really felt meandering. Anyway,
Yeah. The Paramount merger has been frozen because everybody sued.
Good.
I think a bunch of
Good.
states did. I think the WGA sued. I think it's a
Good.
thing where like
blatant
our
antitrust
federal
violation.
government was
yeah.
like, go for it. And then all these other governments were like, wait a fucking
yeah, this
second.
is pretty
here.
blatant. Yeah, all of these mergers are antitrust violations. We really need to stop this.
Well, wasn't there a threat of Netflix buying everybody at one point? Is that still a threat?
No, Paramount came in, and that would have been illegal too. I mean, it's also
Warner Brothers really is just, they got to get their shit together. Did you see that they're now doing HBO verticals or something where they're taking HBO shows and putting them as like vertical clips?
Yep.
Using AI.
Yep.
For, I guess they think young people are going to be like scrolling through, watching like clips of The Sopranos and The Wire, like with all their friends, like at the mall or something. Like it's one of those where you can tell why they thought that was a good idea, or you could tell the meeting that happened in.
I've been in
but
those
it's like
meetings.
they clearly like missed very key things in the details, but it's very funny.
Are you guys on TikTok and Reels regularly? Do you spend a lot of time there?
No, I see some of them cross my. I see a lot, but I'm not like on it. People send me a lot.
The vertical dramas that are 1-minute episodes shot vertically are eating the world, mostly in foreign markets. From China and elsewhere, they are exploding. And apparently they are made on less than zero budget. But there are these crazy over-the-top dramas with basic special effects, but they are 1 minute at a time. And the popularity, you will be asked to write a vertical drama within the next 5 years. I'm telling you right now. It is, and it is so crazy to me that the one quirk of technology that when you use a phone, you want to hold it like this vertically, has ruined the concept of video, because nobody wants to turn your video sideways, everything has to be shot vertically, and everything we know about that you learn about the frame in film school and everything you learn to understand about blocking a scene, it's like, guess what? It's got to be vertical now. The one format, unless you were born very recently, you were never asked to present in, because that would be madness. Why in the hell would you want to shoot a drama that's like a pillar? It's like, no, every advertiser, everybody making any video for any product has got to learn how to shoot it like that. It's 1080 by 1920.
So because I watched The Odyssey in 70mm IMAX, and everybody's like, this is cinema. And looking at it, I couldn't help but to go, we used to call this full screen. Like, this is, like,
on
this
my
would
TV.
be, if you watch it on a TV, you go, where's the rest of it?
Where's the rest of
what
it?
the hell? Like, it's just so funny how much, the screens we watch things on dictate what is considered like a shot or cinema. Because, I don't know, man. It's I guess there could be good things shot on vertical. Like, I bet there's good cinematography shot on vertical. You just have to give a shit.
You have
I'm
to
sure there's
learn.
people
You have
who
to
do.
relearn everything. Is the thing, because all of the rules about camera movements, everything about blocking a scene, all of the rules about the thirds and all of that
And
stuff
image
is
balance.
all of that goes right down the toilet.
Yeah. Anyway, merger. We should talk about James Cameron
Being done with
Sounds
Avatar,
like-
maybe unclear,
Maybe.
possibly.
I get the sense these films cost way more than what anybody has publicized.
They
Because that
must.
last
Yeah.
one, the issue was that the first one made like $2.7 billion, or most money any movie's ever made. The second one, Way of Water, made like 2.4, and the third one only made 1.4 billion, which is probably like The Odyssey, which is a runaway hit. It might hit 1.4, probably will. And that will be considered succeeding beyond anyone's wildest dreams. But with Avatar, the fact that it only grossed 1.4 and that's clearly, that's like half of what the first one grossed, has James Cameron saying these films are just so expensive to make that he said at this stage of his life, he's getting older. He wants to think in terms of what his final movies are going to be. Which is very funny to me because meanwhile Ridley Scott is like 85. He's
He's
cranking
making
out
like 2-3 a year. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can knock out the 20 or 30 more of these bad boys. I don't know. Tell me, just give me a movie. I'll make it. I don't give a rat's
Give
ass.
me a Napoleon in here.
Yeah. And meanwhile, meanwhile, James Cameron's like thinking about his legacy and it's like, well, there's things I want to get to, and maybe it's time. Maybe I've left this universe. I've not even seen part 3 to give you an indicator. I don't know if it ended up in a way that could be a satisfying ending to the franchise.
No, it has to continue.
No.
The names of these
Someone will
characters,
do it.
which I do not know. But I think that's interesting because, again, his last non-Avatar movie was Titanic, 1997. And I kind of think that sucks because if you look at his run of films prior to that, he is a genius, not just in shooting action. He is a special effects genius. He got so enamored with the technology that this was like all he wanted to do, but that robbed us of the rest of his career. And I know that's entitled for me to say that. You can do what you want, but it's like, man, there's a whole slate of, I don't know, 6 or 7 films. Because these things, again, it's not just that he's focused on this franchise. It's a franchise that takes, like, they were
So
having to
long.
invent a new filming technique for every one. They had to develop the technology for each one. It took years and years and years of development just to get to where they could shoot it. And so there could be no room for anything else in his life. And I don't know, as an artist, you kind of wish, I don't know.
I think this happens to a few, and again, like, I'm nothing against him and nothing against getting older, but it does feel like him and Peter Jackson. There was also like certain directors who are like, what if I could shoot a movie in air conditioning and there's like a Panera down the street and I never have to leave that condition? And so like there's that vibe too, which is like it's all just inside. I get Peter Jackson also was one where Lord of the Rings obviously great, but from then on I was like, do a horror movie again, where you sort of lose, like, I feel it's selfish, but like, I kind of think of like what other movies James Cameron could have been doing. Like Avatar, it was fun. Do something else, move on, do more things, The most recent example to me was Ty West, because I didn't love the Pearl stuff that much. Like, it was well made, but I was like, I really liked The Innkeepers. I really liked how you're doing all these different films. And then I got my wish, and it's Ebenezer. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Ew.
Yeah. Where it's like, it's silly because it's like they don't owe you anything. If James Cameron's like, I want to make avatars, it's like, oh, okay, fine. But you could make other things that are good too.
I think nobody resents him making the first one, and the whole deal was, again, he wanted to exploit the 3D, which is completely forgotten, that he brought 3D back to the mainstream, and there's a film that had to be experienced in 3D, and I guess if it makes that much money, there has to be a second one, because it's just the way Hollywood works. You can't leave that on the table. But if you had told me that's like, okay, but now this is all he's going to do. This is all you're going to get. It's going to be 2026, and he's going to be contemplating whether or not to make Avatar 4 and 5 and film them back to back to save money. It's like,
yeah.
And I kind of wish he'd move on. Yeah.
Yeah, and he can probably tell, like, that these aren't paying. People are getting
Yeah,
kind of
there wasn't enough different about the last one.
Yeah.
I think
your
that
point
we
about-
covered that when we talked about it. We said it kind of felt like Avatar 2.5.
Yeah.
Because it was water again, right? Like it.
Yeah, they brought in the fire. They brought in the
called, like,
fire
fire
people, the volcano people, but we didn't see we could have seen more of their volcano tribe stuff.
It was funny because it was like, of course, James Cameron made it about water some more and whales. A lot of whale stuff.
Hell yeah, the whales are a huge part of it.
To your point about the budget, I recently learned, and maybe I said it on a podcast, that the last Jurassic World, which made $1 billion, cost, at the end, the financial disclosures and stuff found that it cost nearly $700 million to make. Like that budget of Jurassic World. So it's like, yeah, these movies.
Remember that one? We also had to add the caveat that was partially inflated by pandemic, because remember it still had to pay people.
Right.
Famously, that one was shut down. And anyway,
Yeah. But yeah, I just have to imagine that these avatars, they're like,
they got to be north
they're
of
not
that,
making
right?
that much money
Yeah.
anymore. Yeah. James Cameron's looking at Obsession and going like, all right, I guess you can make a movie for less than $500 million. Should we think some more producers?
I think so.
Okay. Big thinking, oh shit, it's Candyman.
Thank you.
Thinking of pneumono ultramicroscopic silico volcanoconiosis anti-disestablishment terrorism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thinking of Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thinking of Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thinking of Robert.
Thank you.
Thinking of Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you so much.
Thinking of Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thinking of Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you so much.
Thinking of Steven.
Thank you.
Thank you to, you know what? Actually, fuck you, Sweet Keel. Gotcha.
Gotcha. All right, let me jump in here. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Herald of the Sasquatchalypse.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to the scar left by seeing James Woods put a gun in his stomach cooch.
Thanks.
Thank you to the To Be Terror Bunny has left a jingoistic copy of Robot Jocks in your house for the 4th of July. Crash and burn.
Thank you.
Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thanks.
Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to watch me use these prehensile nipples to shoplift loose shrimp.
Thank you.
And thank you to your mom.
Thank you.
Dave.
Thank you.
Dave.
Yeah. What's up?
Before we shove off into the weekend into a
What's
world
up?
of discovery with our living board games, Athura,
Yeah.
do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
I do.
Wow!
I have a movie that I've been hearing about for a very long time. I keep looking for the trailer. And it finally dropped because I've had people who've seen this at festivals been like, have you seen that? Have you heard about it? Everybody is talking about The History of Concrete. This is coming out September 18th, just in time for 9/11. I've never seen the TV series How To with John Wilson. Are you guys familiar with it?
I've
No.
only heard a lot of people telling me you have to watch it. It's amazing, and I've never followed through. I confess.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I've never heard a bad word about it. I've never heard have somebody said, "Have you seen it?" I said, "No." They're like, well, that's good because it sucks. They've never said that.
Yeah. And likewise, like similarly, everybody has been telling me to see this movie, which I'm like, I don't go to festivals. How do I should go to. This is this was made by John Wilson. It's a documentary about the history of concrete. And you watch the trailer. The trailer's just shots of concrete with music. And it's
But
a
really
meta.
like exciting and whimsical music. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's really high review. Everybody loves it. It was compared to a movie like Adaptation. Adaptation being a Charlie Kaufman film about a man who needs to adapt a book called The Orchid Thief, and the movie's about Charlie Kaufman having to do that. It's a meta film, right? And this is a meta film where apparently a lot of this movie is about him trying to sell the movie and trying to make the movie. Trying to figure out how to make a interesting movie about concrete and trying to find stories. He goes to a seminar on how to make a Hallmark formula movie at the top of it. And so a lot of it's done as a Hallmark film.
That's funny.
Yeah. But it's also about concrete, from what I can tell. Like, I think he actually is also interested in talking about the history of concrete within this movie, about making a movie about the history of concrete.
That's
What do you guys...
I wrote in the notes, like, I feel like 20 years ago or like 25 years ago, like 99, 2000, early aughts, this would have been like one of the indie darlings of the year, I think. Like, this would have been like a Bowling for Columbine, or like an American
adaptation.
Movie. An adaptation. But I meant, like, I was talking specifically about documentaries, but.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be curious to see if there's not Oscar stuff around this based on what you described, because it sounds fascinating and it sounds like there's layers of, but like, because they are intentionally making it so that it's not something that can be marketed whatsoever. Like, this trailer gives you nothing.
Yeah.
It gives you no hint that there's like a meta aspect of it. It gives you no hint that there's a comedy aspect. It's purely playing into, look at how boring the subject matter is. Look at how uninteresting this is. It's just a bunch of B-roll of concrete that you could have shot yourself walking around your own city. Like, they are intentionally like making something for people to discover.
Yeah. It's like a word of mouth. Like, where it's only going to come for people. Like,
and
have you
festivals,
seen the history of concrete?
stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be, this is, I guess, the teaser. I'm sure they'll get more into it in the trailer, maybe. But I do think, this might be, this could be nominated. Again, like, it's every review is positive. Everybody loves it. And people love, or Hollywood loves movies about making movies. So.
It's true.
And specifically doing it as a Hallmark movie is very funny to me. Is like, how do you do, like, I think he follows a lot of like human stories in it for that reason. A guy who cleans up the sidewalks in New York and stuff like that. But I really, this is one where it's been my Gabbo, where I keep hearing about it, but I don't know much about it, where it's just like everybody's keeps mentioning the history of concrete, and I've spent probably more than half a year just like with it written down, being like, when the fucking trailer drops, we have to talk about the history of concrete, apparently, because everybody's into it. So yeah, go watch the teaser for the history of concrete, or just look at pictures of concrete, because it's kind of similar thing.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like the bits from the reviews that you've included, like, it seems like this.
It is a comedy.
I'm almost a little jealous of them. Like, this is a movie I would have liked to have been involved with making. Like, this seems like a fun idea to have sat and like pitched ideas for. Like, I can almost see the writing of this. Like, okay, how do we do it? Well, should we just address the fact that it's hard to make an interesting movie about concrete?
Yeah.
And then they just kind of go from there, and how it's sort of like concrete's kind of foundational, weirdly.
It is. The dream is to get to a place creatively where you can do a project like this and somebody will pay you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll distribute it. Like, it'll get made, it'll get out there. It's not something you have to shoot with your friends on your phone. Like, somebody's got money that will give you crew and like it's because there's nothing commercial about this, but there's a level of trust here with a guy who's made a show that must have been successful enough that this is why it's like the Nathan Fielder zone, where you can just make weird stuff.
Yes, it feels very like
it does feel a little Nathan Fielder, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it started during the 2023 strikes, when he was offered a workshop by WGA called How to Make and Sell a Hallmark Movie. And I guess it spun out from there.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so...
It makes sense. It makes sense that it would come... The writer's strike was kind of like the pandemic for writers, where they're just sitting around going like, I guess I could just think of stuff to do right now. I can see it starting from... that point, just having nothing else to do. Yeah, so check it out, folks. History of concrete
and making concrete aid.
Yeah.
Well, we've done it. That's a sode.
Woo! Jason, thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to repeat my plugs again.
You are.
I have now nearly 3 million followers across the vertical video platforms. I am Jason K. Pargin on all of them, all one word. The book, if you want a signed hardcover, again, of There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel, a novel of giant crabs, book 5 in the John Dies at the End series, that URL is bit.ly/signmycrab, all lowercase. It is important with Bitly. The URLs are case sensitive. Sign, SIGN, my crab, CRAB. That will take you to Parnassus Books, where you can order a hardcover at the exact normal retail price that will have my signature on it, not one of those stickers where the author signs a sticker and they put it, I will have touched each of these books with my naked hands myself and signed them. However many thousand of them you order.
Do it.
Yeah. My nude,
Takes hours.
slippery hand.
Will you sign crabs for people?
An all-day thing. I will sign anything if you pay me.
Okay.
But no, seriously, it is an all-day. I go to that bookstore, and they have just piles. I have video of this. They have piles and piles of them, and I spend hours and hours signing them. It is hell. But it's fine. This is what, in the era when you need to prove that a human wrote your book.
Yeah.
These are my own human monkey hands. I didn't use AI to write it because I don't know how.
You should put a little blood on it too. Yeah, you got to prompt. You got to do prompts.
Is that how it works? People use the word prompts and tokens. I guess it runs out and you have to pay for more. You have to put coins into it.
I have no idea.
To prompt
Probably.
it, if you have to write to tell it to write, then why not just write? I don't get AI in general, but when you're telling AI make a picture of a dog playing basketball, I get it because it's hard. You can't go out. You have to go get a dog. But if it's you tell AI to say write a story about a dog playing basketball, just write the story. You're already writing, right?
Yeah, but it takes way too long.
That's fair.
We have to end the podcast. It's already 2 hours long. You're going to get me started on using AI to write books. Do you realize how long I could?
Okay. I'll plug our Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. Exclusive podcast, $5 a month. Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. Fox Mulder is a Maniac. Star Trek: The Next Futurama. Spiel Boys. Goddamn. Supernatural Himbus. What did I miss? Anything? There's the new.
Brutal.
We have the new Brutal one.
Yeah.
That's brand new. That's about Metalocalypse. All for $5 a month. You get we have 700 podcasts
Entirely too much.
on our Patreon that you have access to for $5 a month. I feel like that's a good deal. If you want to kick in a little more, you can also watch movies with us every Friday night. We watch 2 movies back to back on our Discord, and then there's other tiers on there too, like custom podcasts that you can have us do.
It's true. It's all true.
If you go to Starbucks and say, what can I get for $5? They will throw a cup of piss in your face. They keep one under the counter just for that.
It's true.
And they'll have a bouncer. They'll come and just punch you in the stomach and throw you out on the sidewalk.
They call it
that's what you get for
$5 special.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you get for $5. Don't come back.
We also have a store.
Game.
Go to gamefullyunemployed.com. You can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork by cool original artists like Michael Vincent Bramley, Starlene Hodge, Justin Brown, and others. So check that out. Please rate and review our podcasts wherever you're listening. And check out our other show, Badical, BADICAL, also wherever you are listening.
Yes. For an extra $1, I think the piss can be scalding.
You want it hot now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, hot
Here's
piss.
His Majesty's warm piss.
That should be... Sorry, that's a James Bond. His Majesty's warm piss. All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Right.
Hey, listen, our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can find him on twitter.com as The Corlew or go to shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Our episode artwork is by Justin Brown, available on Twitter as Justin T. Brown or at artistbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork is by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or on Twitter as StarleneX. Cool. Goodbye.